Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Caroline and today we are going to be talking about the ZAC Posen Eartha bag. As you may have heard, earlier this month it was announced that there would be an immediate closure of ZAC Posen's namesake brand, but there are still several retailers that sell the Eartha style in all its iterations and all its different sizes. So I will link the ones that I can find in the description box down below. So please be sure to check that out. Please also consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing down below. I would really appreciate it. And without further ado, let's get started. So here we have the medium size of the Eartha bag. As you can see, it is a top handle style, but you can attach a shoulder strap. There are D-rings right here and right here, and you can just throw it over your shoulder. You can wear this, in the crook of your elbow, like so. You can wear this, just holding the top handle like this. You can also wear it with the shoulder strap over one shoulder. I wouldn't recommend wearing this bag as a crossbody style, at least not in this size, because it is quite large and cumbersome and the strap is pretty short. There is a smaller crossbody version if you're interested in wearing this style, but it's going to be a lot smaller and the capacity is going to be a lot smaller. I will be showing the capacity of this bag and showing you the inside, but let's just admire the outside for a while here. So on first glance, it is going to be pretty reminiscent of the Celine trapeze bag, and that's actually part of the reason why I purchased this bag back in the day. I did buy this bag over 5 years ago, and I think that's just testament to the staying power of this style. First of all, it's just very classic looking, and it has this very interesting, side wing here. And that's something that I loved about the Celine trapeze, the side wings of the trapeze and the front gold hardware. This is very similar to that look. However, Celine stopped selling the trapeze style a couple years ago. That said, now we know ZAC Posen's brand is going to be shutting its doors. So is this bag even worth buying? I would say yes, because this bag has a very classic look and it has staying power. A lot of people are probably familiar with ZAC Posen because he was a judge on Project Runway. He took over from Michael Kors in season 11 when Kors left in 2012. But even 8 years before Posen was ever on Project Runway, he was winning awards from the CFDA. So he has had a really long career. That said, ZAC Posen is sometimes described as being famously well connected, which is just a passive aggressive way of saying he has really rich friends and that's why he's successful. I don't think that's necessarily true. For example, Kendall Jenner, arguably one of the most famously well-connected people, and she drew a lot of criticism from other models in the industry when she joined modeling, because the models were saying, well, she's booking jobs and it's so easy for her to book jobs because of who she knows, blah, blah, blah. It brings up a lot of conversations about privilege and class and opportunities, and I don't want to deep dive into that because that will be a long video in and of itself. Just because ZAC Posen is arguably well connected doesn't mean he's not talented, doesn't mean he's not passionate about what he does. Let's go back to, is this bag worth buying now that the brand is going out of business? I would say yes. Again, the staying power of this bag. The Eartha style has been an iconic part of his collection for years. Every year he released, a new iteration of it, different colorways. There is a version with kind of a curve in the top and a double handle. There's a smaller version that's a crossbody. There are bucket bag versions with very similar hardware. This bag has staying power. I am going to stand by that statement. Again, I've had this bag for over 5 years and I still wear it. I will say there was a moment in time when I considered selling it. And why was that? Because this bag is so heavy. This bag is making my arm hurt, which, I don't know if you notice, I've been changing the way I've been holding it because it is so heavy. You know what? I am gonna go and weigh this so we can figure out how heavy it is. And I'm back. This bag weighs 2.5 pounds. That is empty. It's not money, it's not gold bricks. This bag is empty and it weighs 2.5 pounds. That is really heavy. So that is something to consider if you don't like heavy bags. That said, there are different ways you can wear it. Again, there's the detachable shoulder strap that makes it more comfortable. You can switch around the way that you wear it. But it is a heavy bag, and that is one of the top reasons that I considered selling this bag. The other reason was this bag tends to lean forward a little bit when you put it down on the table. I don't know, yeah, you can see that. So I'm trying to hold this bag level. I'll also insert a shot of it on a table, but you can tell that this bag just kind of has a tendency to lean forward. Has it fallen over on the table before when I put it down? Yes, it has. Is this user error? Probably. I haven't always been the best about stuffing this bag as far as storing it, and this bag is over 5 years old, so there is the wear and tear to consider. If you want to keep this bag and you want to prevent this from happening, you might want to consider keeping it stuffed whenever you're storing it. So that's another reason why I considered selling mine. Again, if you're buying it new, that's not something that you're going to have to worry about if you start stuffing it right away. But if you're considering the resale market, this is something that you're going to want to check into with the seller. You want to ask for pictures of it standing on its own. You want to see what it looks like when it's standing to see if it has any of this, lack of integrity as far as the structure goes. As far as like the general wear and tear, I've had this bag for over 5 years and I have not babied it. There are definitely marks in the corners. You can definitely see wrinkling in the leather. That said, it's not terrible. I mean, it's not great. I haven't babied this bag at all. I've only treated it once in the entire time that I've owned it. And considering that, I think it's fine. If you're going to buy this bag, you might want to take better care of it. You might want to treat it. You want to make sure it's stuffed and things like that. But this bag wasn't super expensive. So I looked online, and at the time of filming, this bag was still available on Saks in this same size, although not in this colorway. It was in the same size for $4.95 before tax. So that's not terrible, but this bag has been around for years and years and years. And even 5 years ago, I was able to get this bag for under $300. Especially now that ZAC Posen has announced that the brand is going to be closing, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of sales to try to move the last of that inventory. So you're probably going to be able to find this bag pretty cheap. As I mentioned before, there is a crossbody version, and I believe that one retails for $295 before tax. You can get that for 55% off, brand new. I'll try to link that down below if it's still available at the time of posting, but at the time of filming, you can get the small one for 55% off. So there are a lot of great deals to be had in this size. And so, I mean, I think it's worth it for a purely leather bag, great quality, very classic and polished shape for under 300 bucks. I think it's going to be good. I mean, this is a really great work bag. And this colorway is a little bold with the burnt orange wings here and the teal blue leather. But you can get this in a beige, you can get this in a black with gold hardware, and that's going to look really chic and understated for work. Sometimes for work you don't want to be too flashy with the brands. You don't want to roll in with the Louis Vuitton Neverfull. You don't want to roll in with a satchel with YSL emblazoned on the front or anything like that. Or the Gucci Marmont with a really big, double G hardware. There's a time and a place for designer brands, and a work meeting is not always the best time and place for that. So I think the Eartha is a really nice way to be fashion forward without being too trendy and without being too flashy. So this bag here, it does open very easily like this. I love this closure. It's very easy to open and close. If you have the bag on the crook of your arm like this, you just put your hand under the bag and close it like so. So I love this closure. It is very secure. There is a zipper on the back here, and I never use this. It's very hard to get into. The leather is very stiff, especially with this flap over it. I think that if there wasn't this flap, I would use this pocket for my phone, but it's just very hard to get in and out because it is so stiff. I will say that is a testament to the quality of the leather, that after, 5 years, it's still this stiff. That said, it's really heavy. The leather quality is great, but it's really heavy. And that's true of other brands. Coach has some of the best leather quality in the industry, and Coach bags tend to be pretty heavy as well. It obviously depends on the style, but Coach leather is heavy, ZAC Posen leather is heavy, but it's quality leather. I think that it's held up pretty well. And it's pretty easy to care for. So for example, my fiance's cat sneezed on this bag without me realizing it. And so one day I discovered dried cat snot on the bag. It was able to wipe off with a damp cloth very easily. Leather, wipe on, wipe off. Very easy to care for this bag. Again, like as I mentioned, there are some marks on the leather here, but you do have feet on the bottom. So if you want to put it down on the table, that will protect the bag. On the interior here, you can see it's just a big wide open space. There is a zip pocket in the back here for your valuables, or for the tag. Oh my gosh, I still have this tag after all these years. So this says Eartha soft top handle, Eclipse Dusk Horizon. I believe that's the colorway. Suggested retail $4.95. So even 5 years ago, it was still retailing for $4.95. It's still $4.95 now. It's not like some of your designer brands, Chanel, who raises their prices year after year. You do have 2 open pockets at the front here. A smaller one for things like lipsticks, or probably back in the day it was probably a flip phone that went in here. You also have this pocket here for, I don't know, Metro cards, card cases, and it's a very generous space. I will be showing you everything that fits inside, but even just looking at it right now, you can see there is a lot of space there. Alright guys, so I am going to show you now what fits inside. I do know that it fits a lot. Obviously I've had it and have used it for 5 years, but even just the exterior dimensions are pretty generous. So about here to here, width-wise, you have about 11 3/4 inches, so almost a full foot there. And obviously it does taper up, but you do have a lot of space in the bottom here. It is about 9 1/4 inches tall, and about 5 3/4 inches deep. So it does have a lot of depth here. You can see that you can fit a lot in the bottom, even if you can't fit a lot in this taper at the top. And if you're curious about the drop in the handle, from here it's about 3 1/4 inches. So as I showed you earlier, there is a lot of space on the inside. You do have this pocket in the back, that's the zipper, this pocket up front, and this pocket, these 2 open pockets at the front. But otherwise it's really just a wide open space that allows you to put a crap load of items. So I'm just gonna load it up. I'm not gonna throw in little things like lipsticks. Obviously we know a lipstick can fit in here, but I will pick some larger items so you can get a sense of just the outer range of the capacity. So the first item I have here is this iPad. Okay, this just looks like nothing. It's an iPad. I think it's the 5th version, the 5th generation, whatever, and it does have a keyboard case on it. It's not much larger than what an actual iPad would be if you didn't have any case. And you can see here that that fits really nicely right in there. And if you also want to include an agenda, this is the Louis Vuitton Agenda MM, which is the personal size agenda. That fits in as well. It fits like this, but it also fits in up and down wise vertically tight height way. Obviously you're probably gonna want to put in a wallet. This is a little compact wallet, but I mean, you could also probably fit a longer wallet, you know, if it had more length. It would have a similar width here, and you can just slide it in just like that. You can also put in a cell phone. This is an iPhone 7. And you can see you actually do have a lot of space behind the iPad if you wanted to pack in things like, you know, a card case, a compact, and even sunglasses. I mean, that's very generous. You can definitely still fit in things like hand sanitizer, lipstick, perfume, things like that, and it closes very easily. I mentioned earlier, and I'll mention it again, this bag by itself is very heavy. So with all this stuff in it, oh my God, it's very, very heavy, but everything fits. So if you just attach that shoulder strap earlier, it might be easier to hold on to. But as far as capacity goes, you can put a lot in here. If you wanted to get a little, you know, different, like let's say maybe you don't want to carry an iPad, maybe you want to carry something like a water bottle. A Swell water bottle will actually fit in at the bottom here. It's kind of amazingly crazy. And then you can just put in, you know, your card case compact sunglasses. Just on top of that there, you can fit in loads more. You can fit in a reusable bag. You can fit in, you know, wads of cash. You can fit in a lot of stuff in this bag. And, you know, the only restriction really is how much you're willing to carry, how heavy you're willing to go. So I emptied the bag again so we can do another little round of what fits inside with new items. If you are a reader, if you love Stassi, oh my God, I love her. Stassi's on Vanderpump Rules. I've been watching Vanderpump Rules since season 1. Stassi is my spirit animal, and if she were on my channel, I think I would die. But she's the basic queen, and I think this is, how can I show you? She signed it. This is completely not relevant to Zac Posen, but if you want to carry a book, the book will fit. And you can actually probably still even fit the agenda. You can fit the agenda this way. You can fit the agenda this way. You can bring money, you know, if one is so inclined to carry such things. A card case if you want more money. A phone, which I guess technically if you have Apple Pay, that's even more money. We also, obviously, you have your things like the compact and your sunglasses. And I mean, with some better organization, you'd be able to fit this in a lot better, but all of this stuff will fit in this bag. This bag's capacity is, I mean, I would almost characterize this as a tote bag. If this could fit a laptop, which it cannot. So for example, this is a laptop. I think this is something like 15 or 17 inches, 15 inches. The laptop is bigger than the bag. So boo-hoo, you can't carry your 15-inch laptop in your Zac Posen Eartha tote. But it's also, you know, it's, I mean, I just called it a tote, but it truly is a bag. It truly is a satchel. It's a handbag. It's not a tote. Use your tote for your laptop. But yeah, that's pretty much the capacity. It is a workhorse. It fits a lot. If you are someone who only carries an iPad to work or doesn't carry anything like a laptop to work at all, I mean, these are your essentials really. And if you don't read Stassi Schroeder at work, you could also just carry a water bottle. And as I showed earlier, that fits really nicely. And it's a great bag and it holds a lot. So is this bag worth it and should you get it? I want to say yes. but not for $4.95. If I could get this bag in a different color for around the same price that I got it back in the day, I would absolutely buy another one. And I would and I would keep it stuffed so it doesn't do this kind of floppy thing right here. I just think it's a really polished looking bag. As I said before, it's the perfect work bag because you don't have to worry about it being too flashy, but it's still quality and it holds a lot. So I would buy this, but I would try to find it on sale. And I would also consider getting the little itty bitty version because it's pretty cute. And you can't get the Celine trapeze bag anymore, so you have to get the ZAC Posen bag. I would just keep an eye out for sales. I wouldn't pay $4.95 for this bag. Would it be worth $4.95? You know, possibly, because it is really high quality, and generally speaking, it's held up like pretty well considering that I didn't baby this bag or take care of it at all. But it's always available on sale, so I would consider that, especially since I imagine a lot of retailers are going to be trying to move this inventory since ZAC Posen announced that the brand would be closing. So I guess the short answer is yes, I think this bag is still worth getting, but get it on sale. If you made it this far in the video, please leave sneezy in the comments down below in honor of the sneezy cat that left his snot on my bag. I really appreciate it that you're watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. It really means a lot to me. Every click counts. And until next time, bye.